Hi fellow dog fanciers! Finally, welcome back to a new video and of course, Happy New Year! I wish you and your beloved pets health because after all, that's what is the most important. We're starting the new year on this channel with a topic that is not really related to dogs. And even though this is a mainly dog/whippet channel, I own 4 rats, and if I can make a video that can be helpful or encouraging to a non-dog owner, then I will be very happy. So around a month ago, it turned out that one of our 4 rats, Buffy, has a pituitary tumor, which for the rest of the video I will be just calling PT because pronunciation struggles. So I will be talking about the symptoms that we observed, the treatment, and I will also show you some before and after because now you can barely ever tell that there is something health related going on with her. And before we get started, I need to throw out a huge disclaimer. This is not a video where I'm encouraging you to self-treat your pets. Please don't self-medicate. You have to consult with a professional, with your veterinarian preferably, or with a vet that is experienced with this type of animal, in this case an exotic vet. If you self-treat and self-medicate, you are putting your animals in danger. Also, what I'm going to show you in this video will not necessarily work for all rats. The treatment might not help each and every rat with the same condition. So this is simply an informative video and it is meant to also give you some hope if you have a rat with PT or a rat with which you suspect PT. Let's get into the video. When you own pets, chances are that sooner or later you will have to take them on a vet visit to resolve something minor or to work on a more serious problem. And this is a gentle reminder for all of you to keep a piggy bank that is dedicated for those vet visits because they can be very pricey, especially when they're unexpected. When we got our rats, I also knew that we might have to visit the vet at some point. However, PT was not really something that crossed my mind, even though it is quite common. So the pituitary gland, I knew I had to say this again sooner or later, is a teeny tiny gland that is located on the bottom, somewhat in the middle of the brain. It is very small in humans and understandably in a small animal such as the rat, a tumor there cannot be removed surgically. It is sadly common in adult female rats, however, it can also be seen in rats of all ages, males included. So here are the symptoms that we observed. Around the first week of December, Buffy, one of our 2 15-month-old rats, which is not that old for a rat just yet, started acting strange. Unlike herself, she was not really excited to come out of the cage. She was sleeping more and she looked like she has lost control of her limbs. She was very clumsy and she was going somewhere doing something, but it seemed like she was not really sure where and what. When free roaming, she has her favorite spot to jump on, and that's her way to show that she is now hungry. And by the time the symptoms started showing up, she was not able to jump there, even though she tried so hard, and this was very concerning. And once she happened to fall out of a hammock, which was also very scary, but luckily she didn't really get hurt. We also noticed that she was tilting her head to the left, and while she was holding food, her left hand was giving up faster, and at some point it looked like it was playing no part in holding whatever. Everything screamed PT, and yet I decided to post in one fantastic rat group on Facebook just to seek a little bit of advice and information. And surprise, surprise, the very first suggestion was PT. I started looking into it more, and all the symptoms were a match. And then I even looked up a video on YouTube of how the symptoms progressed, and it really broke my heart. To those of you that don't own rats or don't even like rats, it might seem a little strange, but they're like miniature dogs in the way they behave and communicate with their owners, so it's quite normal for us pet rat owners to become hopelessly attached. Right then and there, I knew that if there was something that could be done, I wanted it to be done as soon as possible. And so the morning after, I called our beloved canine vet, and she booked us an appointment with the exotic vet in her practice. A few days later, off we go to the vet, and we brought Buffy's sister for company because rats don't really like to be alone, and we didn't want to stress her out too much. I had already prepared some videos which I wanted to show to the vet, which is also something that you should do too, because in the vet clinic they might not be able to observe all of the symptoms that you have seen at home, such as the inability to climb or the weakness in the forelimbs while holding food. The conclusion was PT, of course, and the vet was quite concerned because the symptoms have progressed so quickly in such a short period of time. I was also advised to take an X-ray of the head to get a better idea of the size and the position of the tumor, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to stress Buffy out even more, and I was told that this was not going to change the course of treatment or the outcome. So talking treatment, me and my family were expecting that it would stop the progression of the neurological symptoms, but we were not in the least expecting that she would be so well thanks to that. And now 90% of the time you cannot tell that there is something going on. I guess we're very lucky because, as I mentioned, some rats do well on the meds, some do better on the meds, and some don't change at all. So on the first vet visit, she got a shot of antibiotics and a shot of corticosteroids. And on day 2, because the day after we went back to the vet, she got the same. The reason why she got the test shots was because we needed for the meds to start working as quick as possible, and this wouldn't have been the case if we gave it through the mouth. The antibiotics was to start working on a possible infection that could have been caused, and the steroids were to start working on shrinking the tumor. We were also given a B complex tablet to crush and give a little portion each day in yogurt, but this tablet was exclusively not containing B12 because this one is linked to feeding the tumor, and we really don't want that. On day 3, we went in for a third visit. Buffy was obviously starting to improve, and the vet felt comfortable enough to let us give meds at home. So what we started with was antibiotics once every 12 hours, meaning morning and evening, corticosteroids every 2 days, the vitamin B complex tablet every single day, a med that is given in the morning and protects the stomach from irritation that might be caused by any of the other meds, specifically by the corticosteroids, with a possibility to give it twice a day in case we notice signs of sickness. However, so far it hasn't been necessary. And the last thing she has to take is cabergoline, which we give once every 3 days. What it does is it prevents the secretion of prolactin and therefore reducing the size of the tumor. But because it might take some time to start working, this is where the corticosteroids come to place, because they will already start shrinking the tumor before the other meds starts actually working. She takes all her meds in food without any issues. That is usually watery peanut butter or some baby food, and the only problem that we have every single time is with the cabergoline. Here it is only distributed in a tablet form, meaning that we don't have any alternatives to try. So every 3 days we have to pull out a different trick to try and make her eat it, and it's getting harder every single time because every time I walk in with that medicine in the spoon, I don't know how she knows, but she knows it's coming, and she has upped her game dramatically. So every time we have to be creative and try something different. We also have to be more mindful of what we feed, which basically means more vegetables and protein and less sugary foods. We go for a check every single Monday, and she doesn't dislike it at all because she and her sister are getting plenty of healthy treats on the way to the vet and at the clinic as well. She is already off of the antibiotics, and we give the corticosteroids now once per 3 days, with the idea that if she worsens even the slightest bit, we can go back to once per 48 hours, but so far she is doing fantastic. So now you might be wondering, when does it show that she has the tumor? 1 out of 10 times when she gets up on her hind feet, she might lose her balance. She is sometimes climbing a little bit more carefully than the rest, and she is walking funny. Other than that, she is acting like a healthy rat. We're honestly amazed by the vet, by how well the medications have worked, and by how the whole medication scheme was structured, because everything has logic in it. I'm not saying it is the best. I also cannot claim such a thing because I am someone with no medical background, which is important to say every time I'm talking about something health related. But most of the meds I have mentioned in this video are crucial for rats with PT, and especially the cabergoline. So if you have a rat in this situation, you go to the vet and they prescribe you anti-inflammatories and painkillers, and that's all. You should be concerned, and you might want to search for a second opinion. As I said, and I will say it again, we're very lucky that the whole thing has worked so well with Buffy and has helped her to improve so dramatically. And we don't know for how long it will continue to be this way. It can be weeks, it can be a month or 2 or 3, but one is for sure, we're so grateful for every single day we get with her and for every day that we get to see her being so happy and doing so well. And as I have already mentioned, and I will mention it again, there is no guarantee that the same treatment or a treatment in general will work for every single rat. But one is for sure, if you suspect your rat has PT or it indeed has PT, please, please, please don't give up on them. Try to find an exotic vet, preferably an experienced one that knows what they're doing, and try a treatment. So that was it for today's video. I hope you found it interesting, informative and encouraging. If you have found yourself in similar or the same situation with your rat, as always, have a fantastic weekend and an easy week after that, and I will see you next Friday with a new video. Bye bye!